Hello and welcome to another year, fourth consecutive year actually, of 15 days of breakaway roping. I am your host, Jordan Jo Hollabaugh, and I am so excited to bring you our fourth consecutive 15 days of breakaway. I keep saying it, I just pinch myself. I love this time of year. It's a little better than Christmas for me because we get to talk about breakaway roping all day long for 15 straight days. Kind of a big deal. And, I'm just so excited. Over the past 3 years of doing this, we've had over 75,000 people listen to this specific series. So I just want to say a huge shout out to all of our listeners out there. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for helping In the Loop podcast grow. This year is going to be great. I think probably the greatest year ever. Absolutely. We have some really cool things coming down the pike. And I just want to say a huge shout out to our partners this year because I absolutely could not do this without them. This series of 15 Days of Breakaway 2024 is brought to you by Wrangler. Wrangler butts drive you nuts. And we also have other partners such as Patterson Garage and Trailer Repair in Springtown, Texas, Rattler Ropes, Pro Fantasy Rodeo. Go get that breakaway team, y'all. WRWC, the Women's Rodeo World Championships. We've got some really cool questions coming, Fancy's Burning Questions. And Rodeo Now. Upload all of your rodeo videos and have them in one place. I'm excited to be a part of this year's 15 Days of Breakaway. It's really special to me. So thank you guys again for listening. If you have any questions for me, or if you would like to give us any input, I would love to know what you think about these breakaway roping series episodes. And if you have any breakaway roping questions, period, email me at jordan@inthelooppodcast.co. And I will get back to you and answer all of your questions. Make sure you share these episodes with all of your friends. We appreciate your guys' support and helping In the Loop podcast grow. So with no further avail, let's get to it. 15 Days of Breakaway 2024. Here we come. Okay, guys, so we are back with our 15 Days of Breakaway, and we are here today with number 6, one of my great friends, Martha Angelone, coming in with $131,098 and 92 rodeos. Martha, thanks for coming back to 15 Days of Breakaway.
Anytime, Jordan.
You are one of the 2 ladies that has qualified for all 5 national finals breakaway ropings. Does that ever get old knowing that you've qualified for another NFBR?
No, ma'am. My goal every year when I start the year is to get another back number at the end of the year. I always want to shoot for another world title every year, but having a back number every year is a lot to say, and it's kind of cool being one of the only 2 that have made it all 5 years.
Yeah, it's really neat. And last year we every year we've seen a new group of ladies, and the ones that have stuck strong. And so you and Shelby Medjid are the only 2 that have made all 5. I just think that's such a great accomplishment, especially because of how much it's changed over the last 5 years. So that leads me to my first question for you is, being a 5-time NFBR qualifier, what do you think you've seen change and evolve from year 1 to current NFBR?
Well, there's been a lot that's been changed between girls' horsepower, roping styles, the rodeos that we get added to, the money at the rodeos. Like, it's crazy to think the year that I won the world, I was the only one that had 100,000 won. And now last year, I think there was, I might be wrong, but I think there was only 4 of us that came into the finals with 100,000 won. And this year, I think there's 7 of us, if not 8 of us, that have 100,000 won. So that tells you how much better the rodeos have gotten for us out there. But I will say this year, it was crazy because, like I said the other night at our Purina dinner, that there's 7 girls that have a shot at a world title right here this year. If the cards play right for all of us, we all have a shot. And that's something that we haven't had in a minute. The only time we've had a close world title race, like when we've actually gone out and rodeoed all summer and everything, was the year that Sawyer and Shelby were going back and forth at the Orleans. And every other year, like the year I won the world, I had so much of a lead, nobody could catch me going into the finals. And then last year, same thing with Shelby. So this year, I think it's going to be kind of cool that the money was spread out, being won so much all over the year, that when we go to the finals, it's like anybody's game whenever we get there. It's not like, okay, who's just going to win the most money at the finals kind of deal because this person has already won the world title. It's actually going to be a title race for 7 of us girls. So
Right. Well, and we've seen too this year that the PRCA, WPRA, they've put forth more added money towards the breakaway finals. So we're looking at, $6,000 rounds, $15,000 average. So there is more money this year, and that's one of the things that was exciting to me was to see when we first went to 2020 to now. At least we're starting to get a little bit more money to run at, and it's progressively increasing. So where do you see that going? I know you guys just came fresh off Sioux Falls and all this. You just had $11,000 rounds there, and that all counts world standing. So that was bigger payout than the NFBR is going to be. So how do you transition from rodeoing all year long, having big checks, big money to run at, to going at $6,000 rounds when you're looking at a world title, potential world title again?
Well, I'm going to say something, and it doesn't mean that I'm actually going to do it, but every year when I start the finals, I always want to win the average title. Like, that's always my goal. But this year it's kind of going to be a game once we get out to Vegas, I feel like, because in the end, yes, I want to win the average title, but if I got to start going at the rounds and try to win as much money as I can, I'm going to play that game. And that game's more of my style anyway. I'm more of they call me a gunslinger. I don't know if I'm actually a gunslinger, but I'm better if I try to hit the barrier and try to be as fast as I can every time than going two more swings and sometimes I mess up, sometimes I don't, but I feel like my shot's way more accurate if I just take my first shot and try not to be smart. But like I said, it is an average game at the end, and with the average paying, I think it's like 16.9 this year. At the end of the day, that if I won the average right now, that would get me back up to number one, no less, which I know other people are going to win money in the rounds and average and everything, but it's just like I will have that in the back of my mind. So I'll probably start the finals out on Legend and start out for the average race. But if y'all see me get on Jesse, I'm about to start going for the rounds.
Well, and that leads me to our next question. So this year we've asked the fans to submit questions for you guys to ask all year. So we picked one question. And so your fan question is, which horse do you think breaks it off faster? And how do you choose which one to ride?
Okay, I don't know which one of my horses break it off faster. I'll be honest. If I had to actually pick, it would be my mare, but she doesn't get to go in the summer. But Legend and Jesse, like Legend has a little bit more of a freer style than Jesse does, and Jesse slides a little bit more than when he stops. But they honestly both break the rope off extremely fast for me. But whenever I look at setups and which one I'm gonna ride, which I rode Jesse a lot more this summer than I ever have before. But most of the time in the summertime I ride Legend. Whenever it's like a 2-under start and you got to see almost neck rope, I ride Legend because he's so much faster off the corner than Jesse is. And he'll give me that one more every single time. Sometimes Jesse's in his own world and you don't know what he's doing. But this year I actually I would have never thought to ride him at Tremonton and stuff like that. And like this year, I was like, man, I think this horse is good enough to go to every single one of them now. And I learned this summer that in the summertime, I could probably go anywhere but like Salinas and Cheyenne on the same horse. I feel like both of those horses are the caliber horses that you want and need for the summertime now. It just kind of depends on the calves. If the calves are a little bit weaker, I'm probably going to ride Jesse because sometimes they'll spot him out there a little bit more, and Legend will stay free and run to his spot every single time. So,
yeah. Well, and I think it's really neat to see, a lot of the times I've seen you this summer saddle both of them, bring them both up there, warm them both up, see what the calves are, and then you pick. And so I just think that goes into so much strategy that you yourself, you prepare and you do have a game plan no matter what. I know they did. They call you the gunslinger, and as you first started roping and we first started seeing you in Texas, you were a gunslinger because your horse only gave you that one shot.
Yeah, if not, you were not gonna get close.
Yeah, Simba shall rest in the pasture. But I think it's just the fact that you are a gunslinger at some point, but at the same time, we've seen you consecutively win year after year the average titles, 2-head titles, 3-head titles. I mean, several things. So it's not just a one and done anymore. It's part of your roping style. Like you said, you hit the barrier, you take your shot. That's when you're at your best. And so I admire that. But let's talk a little bit about your year in totality. One of the things I love about you, and I tell Raymond all the time, Martha is a survivor and she is gritty, and you always will be. But you didn't have the best winter. You didn't
No.
have the best winter. You really didn't have the best spring, and you just kept fighting, kept going, kept roping, and then you kind of hit a lick this summer, and it took off. So, talk a little bit about that mentality, as this year looked way different than it has in the years past for you. So, how do you go into every year, and it maybe not look the same, or how you figure out what strategy you're going to use to get out of that and get back to your NFBR?
This year, I think after the winter rodeos, I might have had 20,001. And I think when I left for the summer, I was 15th or 16th. Like, usually when I go out to summer, I'm in the top 5. I've been comfortable there the last 3 years. And I actually, right before the summer, which a lot of people don't know this, I got hurt. And this has been one of my hardest summers that I've ever had because of my back. Honestly, because I drive myself and I go by myself and everything, but if we're at the rodeo and everybody else is out doing whatever, I'm probably in the trailer with the Magna Wave on my back because I don't want to look like an old lady walking around. But it's been one of the hardest summers for that. So this summer, with all the success that I had, it was tremendously hard for me. Especially going by myself. I was thankful that Amanda Coleman and Trace came out for 2 weeks and helped me during like Salinas and everything. And she rodeoed with me for 2 weeks, and that really helped. But in the summer, you want to go out there and win as much money as you can because the rodeos have an outstanding payout. I think 1 week I won over 23,000 out there. And only placed at 3 of the rodeos, but that's the kind of money that they're giving away for us this year and stuff. So whenever I go out for the summer, I try to be on my A game. And in the summertime, I have more of a game plan on go take your first best shot instead of trying to win the rodeo every time. Because in the wintertime, other than at Houston, I feel like we have to throw before you're even ready. I mean, in my set at San Antonio, I think I was 2-1 or 2 flat the third day, and I didn't even place. So you kind of have to have a different mindset nowadays because, like, the year that I won San Antonio 2 years ago now, I mean, I was 2-5, 2-2, 2-1, and got a good check every time in my set. And then I went on and won San Antonio with a 2-1 at the end. And I think this year I would have been like 5th. And I don't even know if they pay 5th. Like, it's
No, I
changed.
won 5th. They didn't.
Yeah. I mean, like, Danny was 1-6 in the short round.
Mm-hmm,
I think,
mm-hmm.
yeah. Like, it's just the roping's changed. So it's almost like this year I costed myself some because of the horses that I rode in the winter, because I rode my summertime horses in the winter. And this year I might go and it's a different mentality and ride like my mare that I jackpot on every week and stuff. Because in the buildings, it's sad to say, the more horsepower you have, it honestly gives you lesser of a chance because you're just going and making a good run every time. And there's going to be somebody else that's not scared to just throw at the line and blast. And that's whenever you get put in the 50. So,
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
I feel that this year, trust me.
Well, and
That's why
even
I had
to
like
add on to that,
$0 won.
$0. Well, and I mean, like, for instance, we'll just talk about San Antonio. In the 8-man rounds, the barrier pulled for me, and I think I was a 2-2. And I was mad. It was first out. I was mad because I knew that I needed that it wasn't going to cut it. And I would have taken another calf. Like, I would have rather run another calf right then, knowing the barrier had fouled me, and try to be faster because I knew that 2-2 was not going to make the cut, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And so that's in those summer, in the winter buildings, it just makes such a big difference. But the summertime is a whole different game. And so I just say that to say you didn't have the best winter, but it doesn't matter because you're still coming in with 131,000. And that just goes to show how much money is everywhere we go, whether it's the winter buildings or whether it's the summer rodeos. There's so much money for breakaway ropers. It's incredible.
Yeah. I think this summer when I left, I had 30,000. I might be wrong. I won close to 100,000 this summer, starting at Reno. Well, I didn't win any money at Reno, so let's say starting at Greeley, I won 100,000 between those 2 months right there. So
yeah, pretty cool. calling all rodeo contestants. We all know that videos are a huge part of our success in and out of the rodeo arena. And I'm here to tell you that we now have the perfect community to post all of these videos in one place. It's called Rodeo Now. You want to know about the latest stock draw? Need to know how much rain to give your bronc? What about how your breakaway calf ran that last run? Need to send your prospective college coach a demo video? Or maybe you just want to showcase that one special horse that you have for sale. Well, Rodeo Now is a one-stop shop for all things rodeo, made for contestants, stock contractors, and fans of rodeo. Find all of that info that you need right here on Rodeo Now. Set up your free profile, get signed up, and start uploading today on rodeonow.com. Well, let's talk a little bit. You were talking about you travel with yourself and Martha. You know, Amanda Coleman and Trace came out and helped you this year, but you drove so many miles by yourself, nights, weekends, all the things. But one of my favorite memories of you is you drove 17 straight hours to get to St. Paul. So
yeah, I was a little crazy.
Talk about how you do that, why you've chose to rodeo by yourself, and how you continue to drive all night, show up, perform, be at your best, keep your horses good. Like, talk us through that.
Well, I choose to haul by myself because of my sanity. I'm one person that I don't do good around negativity, and I don't do good around stuff like that. And I've learned over the years hauling with different girls and stuff, and I'm not implying any of this to my sister, just so people know, because me and her went together last year. It was always like if they had a bad run, they would be down on themselves and try to bring the mood down. Like me, if I miss, I mean, I'm going to laugh about it. Give me 5-10 minutes. I'm going to laugh about it and I'm going to go on to the next one. I will say going by yourself and doing everything by yourself is extremely hard. It is extremely hard. Like the night that I made Greeley short round and then I was at St. Paul the next day. Did I want to do that? Am I thinking the whole way how crazy I am that I have a chance to kill myself right now because I'm sleep deprived? Yes, I thought about all of that. But in the end, I have a goal every year, and it's to win the world title. And I feel like setting myself up by going by myself and having everything that I need for my horses and not worried about having enough room in my trailer for anything and all my feed, everything like that. I just like it to where I know where my stuff is. I know my horses are comfortable. I know I'm comfortable by myself. And if I need to phone a friend for help one day, I need to phone a friend. But that's just how I am. And I mean, everybody says it's hard out in the summer, but even when we're back home, I feel like I still do it in a different way, driving 3-4 hours to a jackpot every day. I feel like a lot of times, or on the weekends at least. During the week, I just go to the ones that are an hour away and I don't miss one of them.
Talk about why you choose to continue to rodeo like that. You know, I know everybody does it different, but a lot of people, when they get home, like they're home. They're not going anywhere. They're not competing. So why do you choose to continue to go to these jackpots, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours from your house? Why do you continue to put yourself in those situations?
Because it's the way I make money, honestly. Like when I say I make a living with my rope, it's very, very true. Like even if I go to Mike's jackpot and like 2 weeks ago I won almost 2,000 over there. There's a little jackpot at Tarleton I won 2,400 at the other night. And like all that kind of stuff adds up in the end for me. And that's how I pay my rent. That's how I pay my truck note and everything. And a lot of people have another job or a business or something that they can go back to. And me, like everything that I live with, eat every day, I mean, it comes from jackpotting and rodeoing and placing and stuff. And I feel like if I come home and sit here and don't do anything, my roping isn't sharp. And I feel like coming into the next couple months, which don't get me wrong, I have nothing against people that'll come home and chill out. I agree. I need to chill out sometimes, but I feel like you need to be so sharp into the next couple months between the Kimes Ranch $1 million breakaway and the finals and all the badass jackpots they have for us out there. You got to be on your top game for all that. And I would rather keep roping and keep trying to set myself up in a jackpot situation every day than just going outside and practicing and going through the motions, because you get so many more bad habits just going through the motions and not setting yourself up to try to win every day.
Yeah, I love that, and I think that's something that I've seen, and I get to rope with you at those jackpots, and that's something that I've loved, and I think has helped me tremendously. Just being competitive every week, day in and day out, going to the rodeos, going to the jackpots. Literally, you have to make yourself not go if you
Yeah,
don't want to go. I mean, there's one every day down here in Texas, and so that is one thing that I've actually loved, and I think is it. You either step up or you step out, because
exactly.
it. And the one thing I love about these jackpots is the girls that are going, like, you might not even know who they are, and they're still going to kick your butt. So you've got to
Yeah.
always be on your A game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I came back home from the summer, I was going over there being 2-2, 2-3, making good runs, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm back in Texas. I need to be 1-8 again." But it's just like even stuff like that. Like I was in summer mode whenever I came back, and the first three jackpots I went to, I didn't win anything. I didn't win anything, and I wrote my butt off. But it was the thing that I was set up in the winter mindset, or not the winter mindset, the summer mindset, and I need to get back set to the winter mindset. And I feel like going to those jackpots and stuff sets you up for so much more than just the finals. Like going to Chris Neal's events out there in the Masters and everything else that has an opportunity at big money for us out there, you got to be ready for. And just like I said, when I came home, I was ready to go run another one at Ellensburg or Puyallup, but I wasn't ready to run one at Mike's Jackpot where you got to be too flat to place in the go round. Like I was making good runs, but I was in the second D, and now I finally feel like I'm getting back to where I'm actually seeing my shots sooner and not just trying to go take my first good shot. And that's something with me. I get in a mode and I stay in the mode, and then when I have to change stuff up, sometimes I'm not very good at that, but it takes me a couple times, and that's why I like to go jackpot and everything and try to set everything up for where we're about to go compete.
100%. Let's talk a little bit about what's in your rope bag. I know that throughout the year, I watched you rope and I watch you use different kinds of rattler ropes. So, talk about what's in your rope bag and why you choose to use those and how it applies throughout the year.
Okay. Well, I'm one that changes ropes between summer and winter time. I love the striker in the summer and the spring. I absolutely love the striker. I feel like you can't beat the striker. I do use the Viper some. The Vipers are sometimes just a little bit heavy for me, but I still use them a lot. They used to be absolutely all I used before I was even sponsored by Rattler and stuff. But now, since I started using the strikers and stuff, I absolutely love the way they feel, especially in the summertime out there. But whenever it comes November, I can promise you that you're going to see me with a Spitfire. And in the wintertime, those ropes are so fast. Like, and a lot of people probably won't understand what I'm saying when I'm saying that, but you got to do a lot of stuff correct to have those ropes where they hit the neck right and get the action that you want on them and stuff. Because sometimes people say those ropes are bouncy and everything, but you have to have perfect timing and make your loops so correct with those ropes. And I feel like in the wintertime, those ropes and me, it really helps me, especially in the practice pen, make sure I'm getting everything sharp, because they are a harder rope to use. But if you know exactly how to use them, I feel like they're lights out every single time.
Well, and I think that that's something that you know what works for you. And that's why I asked you to talk about how you change and why you change. Because I love to see how you change your ropes and why you change your ropes and what the reason is behind that. And I think that that's something that just to be mindful of as ropers throughout the year and throughout the seasons. Ropes are going to feel different. So use what works best for you.
Yes.
So I love that. Okay. Favorite memory inside and outside of the arena this year?
Ooh. Um, I would have to say my favorite memory inside the arena would be Salinas, because that was one of my bucket list rodeos. That and Cheyenne have been my bucket list rodeos. And last year, I almost won Cheyenne. I won second. So this year, I was really hoping that I could get Cheyenne crossed off the bucket list. And I've always placed at Salinas every year, but the first year that it was I think it was the Pro Tour finale, the first year we went. But I've always placed in the average. So this year, whenever I finally got that Salinas buckle, I'm not gonna lie, I wear that buckle more than I wear my gold buckle now. But that was probably my favorite memory inside the arena between the winter rodeos, everything that probably topped everything. And then I guess for outside the arena would probably be whenever we were at Coeur d'Alene and we actually got to go like sightseeing and we went on the boat. It was like Jackie and LD and Hope and Sarah and Danny and all of us. And we kind of just like took a girls' day because we had a day off. And we got to see so much more stuff that you never would see unless you were rodeoing. Like I never would think about going to Coeur d'Alene on the lake and seeing all the cool houses and everything up there and how they have the brunch places and all that kind of stuff. I enjoy doing that stuff though. I enjoy going and seeing the scenery and being able to get out and go around with my friends and my family and see all that kind of stuff. So that was something I really enjoyed outside the arena this year.
Very cool. Coeur d'Alene is a beautiful place, and that's such a great rodeo. They have the best breakfast ever. If you don't go to the Slack there, you're a dummy. Just saying.
Exactly. Exactly.
So this year we get to do a fun new segment with our friends at the Women's Rodeo World Championships, which you are a Women's Rodeo World Champion. Also World Champion, Women's Rodeo World Champion, all the things. How does that feel to be a Women's Rodeo World Champion?
Awesome. I love doing all the WCRA and the women's events every single year. They give us a shot at an unbelievable amount of money every year, and they give away a lot of bonuses and stuff during the year. And I can honestly say I would not be where I am in life if I didn't have the WCRA events and everything, because honestly, they have been one of my honey holes for the past 2 years now. And those are the events like a lot of people say like the big events get them nervous and all that kind of stuff. And that's whenever my blood gets pumping. I love whenever there's that kind of money on the line and we get to shoot for the stars for 60,000 and 25,000 and 15,000. Like that's when I get really excited. So
yeah. One of my favorite rodeo pictures I have now is of me and you talking about something, who knows what, in the back at the Women's Rodeo World Finals at Arlington. That was pretty cool. So, okay, but we get to play this cool game called Fancy's Burning Questions. And I'm going to ask you 10 questions, and then you are going to answer every one of them. If you don't, I'm going to dock you $10. But at the end of the day, you get $100 to nominate your next WCRA or WRWC event on the house.
Ooh, so I like that.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Who? Channing Tatum.
Who do you text the most?
Probably my sister or Amanda. It depends on the day.
Group text also.
Yeah, we do have a group text. It's called Disbelief.
Oh my god. Okay. What is your favorite horse to compete on?
Oh, that is a hard one. What setup are we going to?
You just get to pick one.
I'd have to go with Legend.
Oh, bless your heart. Okay, what is your favorite brand of jeans?
Cinch.
Wrangler. What is your last Google search?
Red formal dress.
Oh Lord, Martha's wearing red, lady in red at the
I know. I still ain't
ceremony.
found I haven't found my bag number ceremony dress
I know.
yet. So.
I need to go shopping too. I might should do that this week. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather cook out or eat out? Excuse me.
I was about to say both.
You're like, what? I like to eat.
I like to cook at the house and eat at the house with the family. That's more of my deal, but I don't mind going out to eat if we're going to a cool place or a cool venue.
Okay, what is the most amount of jackpots or rodeos you've competed at in one weekend?
Huh? I don't know. Can I say like 15?
Yeah, or like 25?
Yeah, like I don't know. I would really have to think about that one. That's just not like a guess question for me.
I felt like that was a Martha question that they put in there.
Yeah,
okay.
That was a Martha question.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh, that's tough. Strawberry Wine.
Ooh, that's a good one. Tina Carter. What skill are you proud of?
Not my interviewing skills.
They're getting so much better. I've really tried to help you.
I know. I don't know. I don't know if it's a skill, but I feel like I'm halfway a handyman since I can fix stuff myself, since I'm very independent.
You are
But I
an
don't know what
independent
you
woman.
would call that.
We'll just say being an independent woman is your great skill.
Being an independent woman. There you go.
What what is your favorite dance move?
Pop, lock, and drop it. I don't know.
We're bringing back the youth days of Martha. Now we're making her think. Okay, we shall skip this part. Now, last question. If your breakaway horse could talk, what would they say to you?
You go too much.
I want to stay home. Can we stay home, Mom?
Can we just stay home? Or what are you wearing today? You need to brush your hair. That's what my horses would tell me.
They would say, have you brushed your hair today?
Yeah, I guess you lost that hairbrush again.
Well, congratulations. You are now $100 VRQ bucks richer to nominate your next event, which I know you nominate all the time. Tell us a little bit about how you choose to nominate which events you go to.
I usually nominate all the jackpots that I go to, especially the weekly night jackpots. Most of them only cost 25 or 50 bucks to nominate, and I'm kind of like a bang for your bucks kind of girl. And you can go over there. Like last time I entered Mike's, I had a good weekend or a good day, and I think I won over 600 points over there, which was really good for 50 bucks of nominating. But I also try to do like the bigger events where, just like how we all went to the Honda rodeo last weekend, and there's 8 girls and 4 girls get paid every night out of the 8, you got a really good chance to make points there. So I kind of do stuff like that, and like any of the qualifier series for the women's finals, they also help you a lot with points, because a lot of times you can just catch and make a good run and get points, because a lot of times they drop the points down to the 20th hole. Even if you don't make money there, you also can just make points. So I try to do a lot of those events as well.
100%. And I do too. I think that we have the similar strategies there. I just don't nominate as much as you because I don't have ice veins yet. I'm working on it though.
Well, I'm trying for the all around, Jordan.
I know. I do think I'm going to get my head rope back out this year, and I am going to rope in the team roping. So
I think you should. And with the WCRA, they've been giving out the VRQ bonus at the end of every year. So I always look like I nominate way too much, but it's just for the all around stuff, and then trying to win the $25,000 bonus at the end of the year. Cause I put it in my mind, even if I nominate a bunch, it'll pay out at the end of the year if you get the $25,000 bonus for the VRQ bucks. And then they also give you a $5,000 bonus at the women's finals for winning the world with having the most points. And then the all-around bonus is also another 20,000 if you end up being able to do that. So that's kind of how my mindset is with that. That's why I'll nominate almost everywhere that I go when it comes to jackpotting and stuff. I won't do the rodeos as much, but if it's a good like 2 or 3 header rodeo, kind of like Ellensburg and stuff, where they'll pay 3 rounds and an average, I will do rodeos like that, or like Sioux Falls and stuff like that. But I just won't do like even like something like Northside. I won't just go over there and nominate and everything. I feel like you get more points by jackpotting or going to the 3 head rodeos and stuff like that.
Yeah, great strategy. And it's proven effective. You're a proven winner there. So congratulations. You're now $100 richer VRQ bucks. Cool.
Perfect.
So let's talk about your support system and your fans. One of the things I love about your mom, every year she has Martha heads in the stands and all the things. And it makes me, when I talk about Pro Fantasy Rodeo, it's always about family fun and picking a great breakaway roping team. And every time I see your Martha heads, I'm like, your mom's got you on her Pro Fantasy team. So talk about your mom and the support they have, and just what that means for her to show up and have Martha heads all over the stands.
Well, I will give a shout out to my mom for taking all the extra time to do the bobbleheads for us. But I really wish she'd pick a different picture. The one she had last year, oh my gosh, she did you see the ones with the kids?
Oh,
She
I
did me
saw
and
it.
Sarah when we were kids. If she picks my Halloween picture that she posted on Facebook this year, oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But my mom, she's always been there for us. She's not really just the rodeo girl. My mom used to take all the pictures for us in high school and stuff and everything, but she won't get on a horse if you ask her to ride. Let's just put it like that. So I kind of come from a different family. My dad was the one that always roped and always did that. And mom was always the videoer that would get to watching too much and you might get the ground in the middle of the video or she just take the pictures. But having my mom there for support, especially at the finals every year, is so cool, especially because we don't get to spend a lot of time with mom and stuff because she breeds and raises labs and everything. So she doesn't have a lot of time to come just out here and hang out with us. So every time we get to go to the finals or like during the American, she'll come down or the women's finals, we get to enjoy that time with our mom. So it's very special to me and Sarah.
It is pretty special, and I love to see it. I can't wait to see what picture is going to be this year.
I really hope it's not the Halloween one she posted. I was so embarrassed the other day.
That takes something to embarrass you, so props to your mama.
Well, let's just say I know my cowgirl hats aren't always shaped right, but that one dang sure didn't need to be on social media.
I thought it was very cute myself, and you did look like you needed some hat shaping lessons. Maybe we can talk to the folks at Resistol, and they can help you with that.
Yes, I might need them.
Let's talk a little bit more about Pro Fantasy. For the last 5 years, you've qualified. Do you play the Pro Fantasy Breakaway game? And if so, how do you go about it?
Well, usually I just help my mom pick her team. I have never personally played it, but I have helped my mom set up like my mom likes to play like 3 or 4 teams each year because she loves there's a lot of girls that she considers her daughters too that always make the finals that she wants all of us on her team so she can win from all of us somehow. So I always have to make it work with the money and how you can set up each team with each set of girls and everything. So technically, I guess I have played it. I've helped my mom. Hopefully I'm allowed to do that because if not, edit all that out. But I usually help mom and her friends every year set up their teams, and we always have fun doing that because it's kind of cool how you can piece and put people together. And sometimes there's people that come in 14th or 15th right there that are honestly one of the best ones to have at the finals. So I'm like, Mom, you need to put that one on every single team, and it's the cheapest one that you can get too. So
we're getting our bang for our buck here. No, I think it's super cool. Raymond and I don't play, but Raymond plays, and I do to help him pick his team, but he doesn't listen to me. So there you go. There's that. He never listens to me. He says he is, but he is definitely not. It's a man thing. You guys will understand. Okay, last and final question this year on 15 Days of Breakaway 2024. Who do you look up to and why?
Ooh. That's a tough question. I'll nowadays I don't know as much. Like, I still look up to everybody nowadays, but like when I was a little girl and I was wanting to learn how to rope and come out here and make a life in roping, I always looked up to LD and Jackie. I always absolutely loved how they were inside and outside the arena. They were always somebody that, even if they didn't know my name, they would always come up and talk and have a word of advice. Sometimes LD would tell me to get my head out of my butt, but I needed to hear that every now and then. But I've always looked up to them as a little girl and everything and trying to grow into my roping. This is kind of off the subject a little bit because it's a header, but I've always looked up to like Beverly Robbins too. I know she has nothing to do with the breakaway, even though if she wants to break away, she can break out and kick all of our butts. But she was one that I always looked up to so much in the heading as well, because I think she's one of the best female headers there is. I mean, she's one of the only ones to enter the BFI and make it back to the short round in the man's roping of the BFI and stuff like that. And I always liked how she was inside and outside the arena too. I've always looked up to women like that and women that truly like to grow the sport and are there for the love of the sport and not just because they're great ropers as well.
Yeah. I love that. I too looked up to Bev growing up. I thought that her and Tammy West, they were always somebody that they roped against the guys. They had their pro rodeo cards, and I thought that was rank. So
Oh yeah.
Great advice, great things. Congratulations on your 5-time national finals breakaway roping qualification. Can't wait to see you out in Vegas, and thank you for joining us on 15 Days of Breakaway.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.